Hello people, and hello Tim Penny. Welcome to Whilton Mill. This is the penultimate round of the Heavyweight Club 100 Sprints Championship. We're starting this one in third, just behind Mike Bodner, and to our right we've got Steve Lindley. So we're off, we're underway, and a fairly even start. But just here, I get a tap in the rear, and really unfortunately, the driver behind me, this guy here, his bumper gets caught in between my right rear wheel and the right rear bodywork. And you can see that cost us loads and loads of time. Absolutely everyone going past. I was able to send it deep into Christmas Corner, and I regained a couple of positions by doing that. Quite often you find yourself in a whole world of trouble when you're out there, as we'll see later, but that one worked out. We're back up the inside of the driver who was just in front of us. Wow, that's a really stupid point to make, isn't it? But never mind. And we're underway. Someone's copped a penalty. Oh dear. Now we've got Scott Parker just in front of us here. By the way, we've also got the excellent Alpha Live team of the Alpha Live boys and girls here today filming this one for us. So just occasionally I'm going to cut to some of their commentary, which I'm sure you'll all agree is far more professional than mine. But yeah, just as we are making our way through the Zulu section now, I'm really trying very hard just to get my head down, because whilst we've got this little group of drivers ahead of us, we've also got a group of extremely handy drivers behind us. We've got two C1s behind us. And we've also got Tim Penny, who's battling it out for the championship. And actually, if you look down the bottom left-hand corner, you can see those three there: Steve Bosley, Tim Penny, and we've got Mikey Nichols. Those three are going to be absolutely rapid. So if I start overdriving, or I start getting into silly battles myself, those three will have me. Those three are quicker than me. So just got to try and be really, really smooth, really, really sensible, and see if we can get back onto Scott, who's just in front of us here and having a battle of his own with the drivers just ahead. And actually we have, after making, we're doing a sensible lap, we have managed to achieve that. We've actually just done the fastest lap of the race there as well so far, and that has allowed us to creep up onto the back of these guys. And again, you can see that just behind, if you look into the bottom left-hand corner, just behind the trio of extremely talented top C2 and C1 drivers haven't really closed the gap on us too much actually at the moment. So I do take a little look over my shoulder occasionally. As Scott goes for the move there, guy in the white helmet does the right thing, hangs it all the way around the outside. I'm going to start pushing Scott because I think that if I can encourage Scott to make a move, I might be able to sneak through as well. Just having a little look, and just going to try and keep as close to Scott as possible. I'm not great through Oblivion, as you can see there. I've lost a little bit of time, but Scott is quick. And is he going to go for the move here? He looks like he's shaping up, and he is. He's going to go for the move, and actually we're able to sneak through as well. And so that's good news for us there.
Andrew was able to follow through immediately as well. Yeah, Tom Angier read that nicely, knew that two drivers both going for the apex of Inkerman's probably wasn't going to work out entirely. Gains one position, is now beautifully positioned to gain another. Can get this next couple of corners right. Steve Lindley doing a brilliant job here, yeah. 2.5 seconds out.
Okay, so you might have seen there, Scott put a move on the guy in white. Now, Scott's actually going to get a penalty for that move. So whilst I don't realise at the moment, we have actually gone up two positions. Now, it's an interesting point, that one. We were told in the briefing that if someone gets up that corner we've just been through now, it's called Inkerman's. We were told if someone gets up the inside of you, you're best just to sort of concede it and then cut back and get them on the exit. And I think that's why Scott went for that move. Scott went into the apex with the amount of speed, the amount of speed that he had. He was going to drive all the way out to the apex. And you see there Scott wagging his finger. He's not happy with the penalty. Scott's a very, very clean driver. He's not the sort of driver to deliberately shunt people off. I think because we were told that is the way to drive that corner, Scott went in hot there and was perhaps expecting the guy on the outside to cut back at him and get him on the exit. You can see why the penalty is given, though, can't you? I mean, no room was given on the exit. So I think if I was the guy who was out on the grass there, I'd be a little bit unhappy too. But we are close now. This has actually become the battle for P2. Again, just having a little look up the inside of Scott. It's not going to happen this time. If we can get a good run through Oblivion, though, and it does look like we've got a decent run this time, getting the slipstream, we're going to get up the inside now, and we're going to go for the move. We've got to be good on the brakes there to beat Scott, and also not so good that we slam into the two drivers in front. But that one's worked out rather nicely. I believe this is Alexander Lamin just ahead of us here as well now. So can we do anything about him? We haven't actually gone up a place there, of course, because with Scott's penalty, that wasn't actually going to be a move for position. Just a half a look up the inside of Alex under Lamin there into the boot, but it's very, very easy. If someone is up your inside there, the right thing to do is just to stick it all the way around the outside, because you've obviously got a right-hander coming up. Now, again, we're given half a cart's width, and we take it, and into Christmas Corner. We were enjoying Christmas Corner today, actually. I really like the sort of heavy braking zones. I do find that is one of my sort of better areas. And now, can we do anything about Mike Bodner? He's going to see us there. And we're going to go for the move up the inside. This is for P2, but Mike does exactly the right thing. He hangs it all the way around the outside, and I'm very, very aware at this point that as Mike retains the position. If you look down in the bottom left-hand corner, you can see the trio of very, very fast drivers has caught up to this train now. Everyone in the train was very, very quick. I've really got to make sure that in trying to overtake Mike Bodner, I don't leave the door open and get overtaken myself. So really, really important for me to ensure that I don't end up right at the back of this train. Very easy to do. We're in P3 at the moment. Steve Lindley up ahead has disappeared. He's gone. Unfortunately, Mike knows that we're there now, so he's just going to defend to the white line, and who can blame him? We're on the last lap. Steve Lindley comes across to win. Can we do anything about Mike Bodner to the line? And no, we can't. That's P3.
We're going to be good for the start here, and away we go then. Kyle Walker will lead them away, and it's a very strong start from the top two.
So a very entertaining Heat 1 where we ended up third, right where we started. This one's we're off to another sort of interesting start. We try and go around the outside of Tim Williams. Unfortunately, we get shown the grass, and a couple more people come through, and while Boris Smith and Kieran Chidsey come through on us there. So again, not a great start. We've not been making terribly good starts all day long, actually. I'll show you the disastrous start we have in Heat 3. So we're down to, where are we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think we're down to about 8th place. And we're not happy about something that happened ahead of us. And unfortunately, as soon as a little bit of water gets kicked up on the track, all of us go really wide. And it was raining for the lightweights earlier in the morning. Now, you can't really see it. It was raining in practice as well. It's really dried up now, but the track, particularly as the two drivers ahead of us just get caught up together, the track in certain areas really is holding on to quite a lot of water, particularly in the sort of depressions in the rumble strip and the final corner. So if you do get a little bit wide, or if someone goes a little bit further wide and starts kicking up the water, then there's a very good chance that you're going to skate straight off. And you can see that really happened to us there. So yeah, we're down to about 10th or 11th place in this one now. Not great first couple of laps. all we can do, just like in Heat 1, is keep our head down and see what we can do about these guys. We've got a potential move coming up here. Can we do anything? We're going to get Pike on the exit. He goes a little bit wide. Unfortunately, the driver that we had on the entry comes back at us. A little bit of loading going on, but we've managed to come out of that one ahead, actually. And now we've got a nice little gap ahead of us to see if we can do anything about the drivers ahead. Drivers ahead, really quick, unfortunately for me. Yeah, we've got Anwar Borah-Smith, we've got Kieran Chidsey, who we have actually had some good battles with over the course of this year. We've got Joe Holmes, who's just set the fastest lap of the race, and we've got a whole host of other people. Where are we now? I believe we're in 7th position. So yeah, it's going to be tricky to make up loads and loads of time. So I'll just say, I'm sorry it's taken me so long to get this video out. This was actually filmed October, maybe, and I'm actually doing this in between Christmas and New Year. Not really sure what I've been doing, to be honest. I'm sorry. Normally I like to try and get the videos out sort of ASAP, so that the people in the videos can watch, like, sort of, as whilst it's fresh in your memories and everything. But yeah, it hasn't really happened on this one, has it? And I've basically had a bit of an issue with storage. As you can see, that's us down in the bottom left-hand corner there. We've just been able to pull away by a second or two from some of the carts behind. So we are able now to take the sort of sensible racing line, braking a little bit earlier and getting on the power a little bit earlier, and that is going to create a better lap time. When you're sort of defending or trying to overtake someone, obviously you're going to have to go really late in on the brakes, and whilst you may successfully get some track position there, you're not necessarily going to be putting in particularly quick lap times. But I would say that we are beginning a little bit just to close the gap on some of the drivers ahead. They have had a sort of three-way battle, so I think particularly in the case of Anwar, there's no way we're going to catch him. Not only is he a long way ahead of us, but he's also much quicker than us, circulating much more quickly than us as well. But possibly we could make up some positions. We are in P7 at the moment, so if we can get one more position, then that will be a P3 and a P6, and potentially we can be looking at another A final appearance, which is certainly the aim. Joe Holmes sets another fastest lap of the race. He's just galloping off into the distance. Sorry, I haven't been sort of quite on the ball really with getting these videos out. I promise in the future I will try and do them ASAP. I've had a bit of a storage issue with my iPad. I think I'm going to need to replace my iPad really. I was going to tell you a little bit about what's happening in my life. There's nothing's going on ahead. Might replace my iPad. What else is going on? Need a new dining room table. I don't really need one. It'd just be nice to have one a little bit bigger. It's been Christmas, you see, so it would be nice to have the turkey on the table at Christmas. Right, anyway, I think now we can start talking about karting again, because we've got, I believe this is Vijay Patel just ahead of us now, so we have been able to reel him in slightly. As you can see, as predicted, the two ahead are gapping us again. We're just going to have to keep things really, really neat and tidy. I don't think at this stage he knows that we are here. So if we can kind of creep up and make a robust move before he knows we're here, then he's seen us, hasn't he? So that's going to make things a little bit more difficult. Although in actual fact, I think we've put the frighteners on him a little bit, and he's gone a little bit wide. We are now sort of pinched a little bit narrow into the final corner, and he does exactly the right thing. He gets us back on the exit, so right thing to do there. He's now narrow, and we're going to get a better run through Turn 1 and Oblivion. Now he leaves half a cart, he leaves a cart width there.
Tom,
and we go up the inside.
And Vijay's not too happy with that for some reason. What we saw looked fair enough to me, but that was a nice move there for 6th place. What I was going
Yeah, so from my point of view, I didn't realise that he was sort of in any way unhappy about that. I thought he knew I was there because he left a cart width, and then I took it. We came and shook hands at the end. I wasn't really sure why we were shaking hands, but I don't know. Looking back at this, I'm very, very comfortable that was a fair move. And it was on the penultimate lap as well, so we can hopefully seal 6th place. There's really nothing to be gained up ahead. And as you can see, there's a good old battle going on behind us. But yeah, it's just going to be a case now of bringing it home, not doing anything silly. Joe Holmes is going to come through and win this heat. Joe is, by the way, is wearing a different suit from normal. He's supporting a charity, so good on him for that. And yeah, this is going to be a P6. So yeah, not too bad considering we've had an awful lot going on at the starts of these heats. We have just about managed to retain position, and even if it's taken an awful lot of hard work. Right, heat 3 now. Starting, I believe it was P11, but obviously spending so long between the race and doing the voiceover, I can't actually remember. But yeah, I think it was P11. All going reasonably well through turns 1 and 2. But just have a look, just up here. There's Joe Holmes to our left of us. He has to take evasive action because we've got a spinner just ahead. So he's all over the grass. Oh dear, we're getting shoved off onto the grass ourselves now as well. And it's been an absolutely disastrous start. For us as well as Joe Holmes. We've got mud all over the tyres, so I'm pretty frustrated by this one. I don't know what was happening behind, or who it even was, but seemingly very, very little effort to break into Inkermans. And myself and I think a few other people as well were just totally shoved off onto the mud. So a bit disappointed with that, but just like heats 1 and 2, we're going to have to do some work, aren't we? We're going to have to keep our head down, keep our cool, and see what we can do to try and retain some of these positions. We've got a good line through Christmas and Boxing Day and Inkermans, so we make up 2 positions there. Can we do anything else? Joe Holmes is going to be behind me, by the way, as well, so he's going to be showing his face in that video again as well. In one of the previous rounds, I was actually able to stick to Joe. Now, I strongly suspect that he had more time in his hand, and had he wished to pull away from me, he would have been able to do so quite easily. But still, one of the real highlights of the year for me, actually. It's been a bit of an interesting year as we're sort of coming towards the end of it. I think I've driven as well and as badly as I ever have done in my sort of karting. It's not really a career, is it? In my karting hobby to date. We haven't really made much impression on the karts ahead, so I'm just overdriving a little bit here, perhaps showing the signs of a little bit of frustration. But I think I've just realised, because that was a much cleaner entry into the boot there, and I think we're possibly going to make a little bit more progress shortly. But a bit of a funny old year, and I know I've said this before, but in terms of my pace, I think I have improved, perhaps not by a huge amount, as we've got someone going off ahead. Knowing some of these tracks, I've been to some of these tracks second or even third time now, so I've got a much better understanding and knowledge of where I need to be on the circuit and what I'm supposed to be doing. So pace has improved a little bit, not a huge amount if I'm honest, but maybe a tenth or 2/10, something like that. As we're going to go through the move up the inside, but we're actually going to be sandwiched. Look down in the bottom left, we're 3 wide. Joe Holmes goes through and he points us, saying, let's go forward together. So if I can, Joe, then I will. But already you can see he's managing to pull away from us through turns 1 and 2, we're pretty good on the brakes into Christmas, but I'm about to make a great big mess of things here, locking up and getting really wide, and you see just how much quicker Joe is than me, particularly on the exits. He's being held up a little bit here, but I'm really desperate to try and stay with him, and I think that's probably not helping actually. We're going to go, space opens up, we can go up the inside, a little bit of contact, but I felt at the time I was sort of far enough alongside to justify the space there, though Lenny Wood, who we made that move on, almost certainly wouldn't have known I was there. But yeah, we see already Joe is, what's that, 2 seconds at least. He's so quick. I just don't understand how he and some of the other really, really top guys do it. But you know, like I say, that's the joy, isn't it, of you know, it's all about the journey, isn't it? It's not about the end destination, it's about the journey. A little bit more courteous to the tyres through Inkerman's and down the Zulu, get it wrong into the boot again. You can see there was a bit of a four-wheel drift on the way in there. It's not an absolute disaster if you do that there, just because you've not got a long straight ahead of you to punish you, but it's still you know, really not ideal sort of situation to be in. We've got a great big we've got a group, a gang up ahead of us, so if they're fighting, or if, as Joe Holmes making his way through them, if that's going to disrupt things a little bit, we have actually got a chance. And you see at the moment we're quite a long way behind them, aren't we? But if we if we keep our head down, if we don't drift the kart, if we manage to drive sensibly and yeah, we're not having to battle ourselves, then we've got potential to maybe pick off a few towards the end of this race. The heats, by the way, these races, they're 7 minutes long, so you know, if you do have bad starts, it's going to be pretty tricky to get things back moving in the right direction, unless you're as fast as Joe Holmes. Oh, we've got someone spinning ahead of us. We take evasive in the last minute. We manage to avoid the driver, so we get that position for free. However, by having to take evasive action like that, it has actually cost us quite a lot of time. I'd say that cost us maybe a second, or sort of just over a second. Yeah, actually, probably, you know, whilst we have lucked in and we've gone up a position, it's sort of potentially maybe cost us the ability to fight for even more places. We've got Johnny Wilson in this battle as well. We've also got Josh Pettit, and I'm not sure who the other guy is actually, I'm sorry. We've obviously got Joe Holmes, who now by this point has made his way through all of them. But I think in the dying moments of this heat, we're obviously not going to be anywhere near close enough. Is that Jason Kirkham? I think it might be Jason Kirkham. Yeah, we're not going to be close enough. Is this the final lap? Let's have a look. Yeah, right, it's the final lap now, and Josh is sort of at least a second or two ahead of us. Back in the bottom left-hand corner, you can see a really excellent battle between Anwar and Alex Pritchard. Alex has been in the videos, particularly with testing quite a lot, and Alex is going to be also in the video in the A final. We're going to see a lot of the back of Alex Pritchard. So you know, if you're a fan of watching Alex race, then continue watching. Where are we now? I think we are P10, something like that. So we've had a P3, a P6 and a P10. So, you know, not a bad set of results. We are actually going to get into the A final, towards the rear of the A final. So that's pretty good. I'm always happy to get into the A final. It's almost a case of what could have been if we didn't have such appalling starts. Then what might have happened. Anyway, we're starting in the A final now. Mikey Nichols ahead of us, and Alex Pritchard, who I mentioned, actually started in the B final because he had a penalty in one of his heats. So he had you know, loads and loads of sort of positions lost from an issue that he had. So he was in the B final, but perhaps unsurprisingly he won it. So he is now in the A final, and he's going to be coming for us. He's going to be coming for this little battle. Absolutely loads going on here. Kai Crawford ahead of us. Loads of people all over the grass. We've got Darryl Lowe As we're just going, can we go all the way around the outside? Yes, I believe we can. We're going to go all the way around the outside of Kai Crawford there, but he does exactly the right thing, and he uses his better momentum to cut in ahead of us at the apex. So now we've got Darrell Lowe ahead of us. I have to be honest, I'm really pleased. Darrell Lowe, when I first came here last year, he was way quicker than me. And now we're sort of facing the back of him in the final. Now he is definitely still very much quicker than me, so he's not going to stay inches from my. Well, he's not really inches, a metre or two. He's not going to stay a metre or two ahead of us. He's going to start moving forward, disappearing. But I'm still really pleased with the progress. Whilton Mill in the past has always been somewhere that I've really struggled for whatever reason. Every time I come here before, it's been really low grip, and obviously with my driving style, I try and keep the hands very still. I'm perhaps a little bit too forceful with the pedals, but my hands are very still, and I think perhaps in high grip situations, having calm hands is really, really beneficial. With these tyres, with these setups at least, in very low grip conditions, perhaps not getting enough heat into the tyres. I'm just kind of thinking out loud here a little bit. Like I say, always with the reasons for doing these videos is it gives me an opportunity to look back at my footage and kind of analyse myself a little bit, and hopefully anyone else who's watching these videos will also benefit from looking at my mistakes as well. We've got a whole load of penalties. It's been a very clean day, no penalties or anything like that, and we are going to benefit, I have to say, from other people's penalties in this final. There's going to be an awful lot of penalties, particularly in this scrap that we're having with. I don't know how many karts there are here. There's about 10 of us all scrapping. There's a few people behind me as well. So things do get heated. But you can also see that the lights, the floodlights have come on. Now the reason that we're doing the Zulu layout is because it's the only part of Whilton Mill which is fully floodlit. If we're doing the longer international layout, there are some corners which aren't actually under the lights, and the C final went out, B final went out as well, and so obviously we've had to wait a little bit of time. The finals are longer, by the way, as well. The finals are 12 minutes long, and if you're in the A final, you get an opportunity, as we missed the apex at Christmas, you get an opportunity to do a sort of 4-minute practice session as well. We've got some karts going off ahead of us, tripping over each other. Not quite sure what happened there. I was a little bit too far behind to see, but looks like a move at Inkerman's not quite coming off for someone, and at least 2 people sort of having to come to a stop there. Steve Bosley ahead of us has obviously been slowed up with that as well. So and there's going to be some more penalties. So you can see 2 more penalties there. I'd be surprised if it wasn't anything to do with this issue. Now we've had, for the first time today, a really, really clean run through turns 1 and 2. I really felt myself rocketing through there. Absolutely no slide, right on the limit. Unfortunately, we weren't able to go round Steve Bosley on the outside there, although we had the opportunity to do so. He was very gentlemanly, didn't shove us off on the exit, gave us room, but he was also good enough on the brakes to ensure that he maintained that position. So some good hard racing there. That's what we like to see. Space being given, and no penalties like that. That's good. Trying to replicate my good run through Oblivion. I hope that is Oblivion Corner. If it's not, I've been saying it all video long, so I hope it is Oblivion Corner. Trying to replicate my good run through, not quite managing it. It's one of those times when I just felt the chassis flex, the tyres gripped up, and it was on rails, and I seemed to sort of fly through there. I think some of the drivers ahead of us just got a snap on the exit, so that it perhaps made my run through that corner particularly good, but it really did feel ideal as well. So certainly the next time I come here, I'm going to be looking at this footage and trying to work out what exactly I did to make things work out well. I'm just again at this stage, and actually it was I remember perhaps not drinking enough throughout the day, and at this stage I managed to we've got someone going off there. Can we do anything about this guy on the left, or not quite? We just have to give a little bit of time away. We're just running to the back of him slightly, and that's going to be a big problem. He's had he's lost loads of positions, but there is Alex Pritchard, and I was chatting to Alex afterwards. He said that I could feel that he was there. We've got someone on our right hand side. We're going to have to defend the position now. There we are. I think we've just about done it. Yes, we have. We've held that position. Alex was saying to me actually, because I knew there were guys right behind me. I didn't want to let off too much, and then sort of just be overtaken up the inside. We've lost loads of time as well, haven't we? We're trying to get back up to this battle as soon as we can. But yeah, Alex was saying if I'd let off a little bit more, and then had the opportunity to choose my line. A line which was free of a recovering car ahead of me, then I would have saved that position. But you live and learn. It's actually going to be a really costly mistake. I'm going to tell you what the end result was with penalties and everything. I'm classified 14th in the A final. Alex, who's just ahead of us on the road, finishes just ahead of us on the road, and he is actually classified in P10. So by losing that one place, I've actually cost myself four positions. Just the way the penalties all worked. There were sort of 3 guys ahead of me who got 4 place grid penalties, I think, and they remained. Or someone else has just gone off there. Someone's lost it. I'm not sure who that was. But yeah, by losing that place to Alex, I've lost the opportunity for a top 10 finish, which is unfortunate, but you know what, it's just one of those things, isn't it? By the way, see what Alex is doing there. He's taking more of the rumble strip than I previously was. I suppose up until this point, I kind of felt that taking all of that rumble strip on the exit was costing, taking up there's a lot of extra real estate to cover, isn't there, if you do that? But I think one of the reasons why I've never been quick on the exit of Oblivion is because my line on the exit is too tight. So I think that is one thing. Watching Alex is really useful, actually. One thing that I will learn from watching this footage back is my line into turn 1, turn 2. We missed the apex there as well. We missed the apex and don't use all the available road on the exit, so that's not great. And you can see, can't you? Look how much time we've lost. We were pretty close. We do make it up into Christmas Corner, so good on the brakes there. Fairly even through most of the rest of the lap. But yeah, I've always been poor in turns 1 and 2 here. Obviously, just not quite. Do you know what it is? I've never really been sure whether you should be, really tearing the arse out of the tyres, trying to slide it as much as possible, taking the maximum amount of speed possible through, or are you supposed to be absolutely pinpoint precision perfect, not getting any slide at all? And I think just there we haven't had any slide at all. Look, now we're in Alex's slipstream, and I think that is the way to go. So definitely. I suppose it's just been confusion before, isn't it? I've never really known exactly what I'm supposed to do there, so I've never really had the confidence to back one sort of technique over the other, being really aggressive into that corner, or being really clean. When I was following Joe Holmes in Heat 3, although I wasn't following him very closely for very long, I did notice that he had quite a sharp turn in on the entry, and then he was very clean mid-corner and exit, so he was very, very sharp in there, and then he was very clean through the rest of the corner. So I think that's possibly the way to go there, and then hopefully you can see where you can see that the rest of the lap is, we're not losing loads of time. Thing is, if you do get turn 1 and 2 wrong, you're and as Alex goes up the move up the inside of Kieran Chitsey there, I think Kieran was must have had had an issue up ahead. It was a really great watch, this. I'm not doing that much overtaking myself, just not finding myself in the right place at the right time. And yeah, just there, like, so here, this is my real problem. I'm not great into the last corner. I'm not great into turns 1 and 2, and then it's costing us time all the way up to Christmas corner. So this is where I'm sort of losing almost all of my time. What I was going to say earlier was, as Kieran goes for a return move on Alex, robust move there, but yeah, a bit of rubbing, a bit of racing. That's what we call it. Touring car driving is that's what we like to call it there. You can see that final corner, turn 1 and 2 up to Christmas. That's where I'm losing kind of pretty much all of my time. So actually I'm relatively pleased to be able to highlight a few corners where I'm not doing a great job. Sorry about the quality of the filming now, by the way. As the light fades, it makes it much more difficult to get clean footage. But yeah, we're in Alex's slipstream. We're going to give him a bump draft. He gives us the thumbs up there, so thank you for the push. Again, that is I'm not being rude to Alex. That is what karters do in order to work together to try and push each other along, push each other into a battle up ahead, or they might work together to try and build a gap to those who are behind. So it's a very, very common thing. I have seen some people, more so sort of in the lightweights, actually than the heavyweights. I suppose they're probably younger drivers. I have seen some people always sort of taking offence to being pushed along like that, but it's supposed to be a helpful thing. Anyway, like I said, that was a P14, and that was actually my best result for being in the A final, so I'm pretty pleased with that. But so close to being top 10. There were about 90 people competing in the heavyweight sprints today, so had I been able to make it into the top 10, I'd be really, really pleased. But still, this is a really, really pleasing result for me, particularly somewhere I've never really shone at before. I've never had a particularly impressive showing here, so yeah, pleased with that. Learned some things, learned where I'm slow, so hopefully next year we will do a much better job there. Thanks ever so much for watching, and I'll see you at the next one, which is Buckmore Park. This is the season decider for C2, so the battle between Tim Penny and Kyle Walker. But yeah, thanks ever so much for watching. See you on the next one.
Thanks for watching Mango Motorsport, a community for racing fanatics.